Hey, how's it going, guys? My name's Diego, and welcome back to another daily value video. Now, what I do on this channel is I just dive into all of your guys' questions, and I answer them thoroughly, try to give as much value as I can for completely free. We've built a pretty solid community on this channel, already at 448 subs, and we started this like 5 days ago, and so really solid growth. And yeah, so you guys seem to be loving it. That's why I keep doing it. And yeah, so this is my main channel here, 16,500 subs. Not so bad. In case you guys are wondering, oh, he's giving advice, he only has 400 subs. Guys, I also have way too many Type B channels to even count. And I made over $250,000 before I even graduated high school selling beats. And just this year alone, I've generated $300,000 for my students, which I'm pretty proud of, because that's not just for myself, that's for other people. But anyway, enough bragging. Let's dive into the comments. So first comment is from Trey. He said, I make future SG type beats, oversaturated, they all buy views, and plus it's also a bad clientele to sell beats to. I've been consistent for almost 2 years, and then the last 6 months I kind of quit. I can't really figure out how to niche down. Any suggestions? Thank you in advance. Yeah, I mean, they probably do buy views, to be honest. Haven't really looked at that niche recently, but I can imagine they do buy views, and it looks like you've been doing it for years, actually. Okay. And oh, okay, so you haven't posted in 2 years, I see. So a little bit of inconsistency. Fair enough. All good. The thing for you is like, okay, you've been consistent for almost 2 years, and then the last 6 months I kind of quit. I can't really figure out how to niche down. So for you, man, it's like, okay, you like making more of those trap beats, and you like the sound, right? So it's not like SG and Future are the only beats that you can do to grow a channel. It's not like those are the only keywords you can do, right? There's all kinds of other keywords. So if I was going about this, I mean, if you just think about this logically, look at the niche you're in, right? You're doing kind of like that South Side Future type of sound, right? And we could just put Future here too, yeah. So this is the sound that you're going for. And there's a lot of keywords that are in the sound that don't necessarily need to be SG or Future or East South Side even, right? It doesn't need to be that. For example, there are other keywords like Nardo-Wick. This is just off the top of my head. Nardo-Wick, let's even think more upcoming, right? We had, I mean, even like, I'd even go as far as like Lil Durk x No Auto Durk, right? If you want to go for more of like a micro niche in a way, you could do kind of like this type of title. And like, there's a lot of ways you can go about this. There's a bunch of keywords. So you just need to think, okay, what artists are similar to this sound, right? Because once you think of that, then it's easy to just look up the keywords and plug it in the vidIQ, right? And I always tell this to people, like, just think about the sound you're going for. If you're trying to niche down, think about the sound that you love, right? I assume you love making these beats, okay? I'm not going to tell you to make these beats. I just assume this is what you already like. So we're going from there, right? So Southside and Future, that kind of sound, is very specific, but it's not too specific to where there's no keywords that you can do outside of Future, right? Because Future is a really big keyword. It might be difficult to get in on that right away unless you are literally Future's IRL producer, right? Or I don't know. But anyway, it's kind of more of a difficult keyword, so you can break this down further, right? Okay. You can think about the artists that are similar, and you can think about artists that you enjoy, genuinely like, because this will come into play in a second. I'll explain that. But genuinely think of artists that you really like and that are similar. So for me, it'd be like Nardo-Wick. His music's decent, right? So it's that same sound too. And then okay, 21 Savage kind of has a similar sound. Not really the smallest keyword ever, but that is another artist just off the top of my head, right? And then eventually you plug this into vidIQ, right? And then you don't even need to do that either. You could just literally, okay, let's go to incognito, right? Do incognito window, YouTube, and we can just literally plug it in. So let's say Nardo-Wick type beat, right? Nardo-Wick. Okay, it looks like people are just buying views at the top. I can instantly tell. Okay, I mean, yeah. So honestly, this keyword doesn't seem like that great of a keyword anymore. And if we look at, I bet you anything, if we go back to over here, right? If we go to vidIQ, I bet the keyword sucks, actually, now that I think about it. It might just not be as good as it once was. So Let me go if it loads. Okay. So I bet Naruto Wick, I'm gonna guess, just off of what I saw here, I'm gonna guess it's at 80K. And I could be completely off. It might be at like 120. I'm gonna guess it's at like 80K. Okay, 60K. I was even lower. So wow, Naruto Wick type E sucks now. Okay, I'm out of touch. But yeah, that's an example, right? So, but now we know. Like, you could have thought, oh, Naruto Wick is what I'm gonna go with. It matches that sound, and then you start doing it, and you get no results, right? And it's like, so, but I just plugged it in the vidIQ, and now I know. Okay, don't go for that. But maybe we could go for let's see, who's kind of similar in that way. Who's similar? Like 21 Savage, even you could do. And it's actually a falling keyword, surprisingly enough, right? Let's look up Southside. Maybe Southside is an actual decent keyword. Okay, not really, right? But doing this, right? See what I'm doing here? I'm actually just plugging them in, seeing what type of keywords work, and then eventually you're gonna find a good one though, right? You're gonna find a good one. Now I'm not really tapped into this specific niche, so it's like I don't really, off the top of my head, I don't really know artists that come to my mind. I don't really listen to this type of music, but hopefully that helps kind of your thought process with that. And then niching down, it's like you already make these beats, so niching down on a keyword doesn't matter, right? A lot of producers get that confused. They think, oh, I don't want to niche down. I just wish I could make you know, dark trap beats all day. It's like, okay, then do it. And they're like, what? But I thought I had to niche down. Yeah, you have to niche down with keywords, but it doesn't mean you need to like what are you talking about? Just make the beats you like and then find a keyword that matches that sound. And then just post on it every day. It's not that hard, right? It's really not that hard. To be consistent and niche down like that. A lot of producers think it's some big task. It's not, right? Being consistent is a big task, but niching down, come on. It's in the big 2025. Let's be real. It's not that hard. And if it's hard for you, you need to get over it, okay? Because the only way to actually see results with the type beat space and the beat selling space in general is by niching down. The reason why is because artists usually have a specific sound. Every artist has their own sound. Even producers, we have our own sound, right? And so when you niche down and get specific, you get artists that specifically want that, which leads to more sales. So hopefully that makes sense, and hopefully you hopefully this helps you, right? Hopefully this gives you a bit more clarity. But great question, man. Super good question. I think that helped a lot of other producers as well. Now, the next question is from Prod Flixie. He said, hi, Diego. I have another question. When you're starting a YouTube channel, how do you keep verifying your phone number to post a link in the description after you've reached the limits? Funnily enough, I usually pay people like 10, 15 bucks just to use their phone number. It could even be like friends of mine or people in my Discord or people I know on Discord, or I'll literally post a story too. Yo, I'll send you 20 bucks right now if you can do me a quick favor. And it's like, just verify their phone number because it's not actually attached to your channel. It's just to verify, right? So it doesn't even matter. And because yeah, I'm obviously out of phone numbers, so I just do that. 20 bucks. Okay, I'm gonna make like a few $1,000s off the channel minimum. Who cares, right? I make profit. So that's kind of how I go about it. If you're just starting out, like use maybe your mom's phone number, using just use whoever's, right? That's kind of how it is. So yeah, good question though. My channel is focused on Latin trap. I think I've done some things wrong. That's why my views aren't consistent. I've changed upload times and artists a few times, so maybe that's hurting me. What do you think about my channel? Thanks for the help. Let's take a look. All right. Oh, I thought you had no videos. I was like, well, that's a rough start. Okay. ROA sample typing. I've never seen this keyword. Interesting thumbnail choice. And yeah, off the rip, I'm not gonna lie, if I'm being brutally honest, these thumbnails are not good. I think they could be a lot better. Now, this is interesting because, like, okay, 100,000 views in 4 months on this video. That's great. So I've never even seen this keyword. It's getting good views, but I think maybe you got lucky with this thumbnail. Maybe it just so happened to do good. Because I can see some inconsistencies, right? The visualizers are cool. I think your thumbnails need a lot of work. You're pretty consistent on the one keyword, so I'd say you're doing good with that. the main thing is like if you changed artists a couple times, it doesn't look like that's necessarily your huge problem. I think your problem with the inconsistencies is with your packaging. Like you're doing different thumbnails here, you're doing the black bars here, you're doing full black bars here, you're doing full thumbnails here, and then you're doing a knight in shining armor, you're doing artist picture, then you're switching to full pictures again, then you go to black bars. I mean, it's kind of all over the place, right? It's pretty inconsistent. So it's like I would number one, take a look at what worked in the first place, which is clearly okay, artist pictures worked well for you. Instead of just posting all over the place, I would actually be testing what could work. So if artist pictures are working right now, have that as your bread and butter, where you're doing that like 5 days a week, or I don't know if you post every day. It looks like you do. 5 days a week, just do the regular artist pictures, but stick with the black bars, right? And have it be the same width of the black bars every time. Don't change that. The more inconsistencies you have, the worse you're going to be off, genuinely. So also, like, then you have Slater. I don't know if I probably butchered that, but it looks like that did decent for you as well. It looks like ROA is doing way better for you though, so keep doing that. But yeah, fix those inconsistencies, and then maybe 2 days out of the week though, you try a different type of thumbnail style. Maybe you do girls as the thumbnails, or something like that. But honestly, I would just stay consistent with what's working in the first place, because this seems to be working for you. So double down on that and eliminate those inconsistencies, and then just stick with this type of title every single time, right? I don't mind you doing ROA sample type beat every now and then. I probably wouldn't do it in all caps, but I don't mind you doing that every now and then, because you're still in the same niche. But yeah, so I would just get rid of those inconsistencies. Also, I would delete this short. You don't really need a short. I wouldn't post shorts. And other than that, man, you seem to be off to a good start. I mean, 3,000 subs, dude. Congrats, right? That's not nothing. You know, you're off to a great start. I just think you need to get rid of those inconsistencies and double down on what's worked in the first place. But yeah, man, thanks for stopping by. Now let's go to the next question. Yeah, great question. Yo, thanks for taking my questions, man. Of course, glad to see you back. Hi Diego, thanks for the gems and advice. I'm focused on Lil Durk type beat, but not getting too many views in months, being consistent though. Could you help me getting a micro niche type beat channel related to Lil Durk? Maybe it's too saturated. Appreciate your time. So, looking at your channel, it looks like, okay, you're doing it. I assume these are pain. Yeah, they're pain beats. Got it. Okay, you have 50 videos. Okay, you've gotten decent views, actually. Not bad. Honestly, I would get rid of the parental advisory. It actually lowers your click-through rate, to be honest. I know you might see a lot of people doing it. I wouldn't do it. I never advise my students to, and we've tested it. Trust me, I've tested all this stuff. I don't give advice that I genuinely have not tested. Okay, so it does lead to a lower click-through rate, though. And then micro niche, it's like, for pain, that's where it gets interesting. It's like if I was to go about pain, I would get pretty specific as far as like what I'm going for. So maybe you could do, I've seen some people even do like Lil TJ X sad type beat, right? But for example, like if we're on the topic, yeah, see sad X Lil TJ type beat, that got 1.5 million views. Really cool stuff. But since we're on the topic of Lil TJ, like Lil TJ X R&B type beat, right? He's done that stuff, right? He has had songs that have done that. That's a micro niche. Or you could do like, if we're doing Lil Durk, you could do Lil Durk. I guess if I was doing like the trap Lil Durk sound, I'd do Lil Durk X No Auto Durk. But if you're doing pain, then it's like different. I would definitely go for an up and coming artist, or get very specific on a specific Lil Durk sound. So that's why I was saying, you know, like Lil Durk X No Auto Durk, you're targeting people that want that murder sound from him, you know. I don't know how else to explain it, but micro niche is just getting specific on the sound. So for you, it's like that's really up to you to do, because you probably know the sound better than I do, to be honest. You probably know the sound better than I do, and it's really just getting hyper specific on what you're trying to do, so, or who you're trying to attract. And so off the top of my head, you know, it's midnight right now, so it's kind of hard for me to think. But yeah, I mean, it really depends. I don't know a specific niche I would go for. I'd have to do market research. That's the thing, is when I'm going for a niche, it takes me hours of market research. So off the top, I can't really give a niche. But I would do the things that I've mentioned before, which is, you know, think of if you take the sound and then break that down further into artists, then you can essentially take the artists that you love listening to, right? And I've talked about this I think I've mentioned this in every single daily value video. I'm not even kidding. And I say it for a reason. It's like that is the strategy that I go for. I take the sound and I break it down into artists that I enjoy listening to that make music in that sound, and then I plug them in the vidIQ. That's all it is, right? So hopefully that makes sense, and I hope I helped you the best. I'd love to give you a niche. It does take me some time though, so I don't want to rush that. I don't want to give a niche that's like, oh, do this, but I thought of it in 10 seconds, and then you get no results. I don't want to waste your time, right? So hopefully that helps though. Hopefully that gives you a rough framework. Hey Diego, would you mind doing a video on starting a beat business with absolutely no budget, as in no money, even for BeatStars, TrackTrain? Okay. I'm actually down to do this right now. So all you have is YouTube and free platforms such as SoundClick. Okay, if you're not even doing BeatStars and you're not gonna have a website, that does make it a little difficult. However, if I had nothing, right? If I had no budget, I could still do it. I could still make something. And I'm gonna show you how I do it. So number one, let me clear the board here because I'm about to get really, really nerdy. Get ready for these gems. This is a really good question though. This is gonna make this video really good. Okay, here's what I'd do. I would, number one, obviously, you guys are probably going to get sick of me saying this, but yes, I would start a micro niche type beat channel. Yes. Of course I would. We are in the big 2025. So I started a micro niche type beat channel. Micro niche type beat channel. I'm just going to, abbreviate it. And what I would do from there, I'm not going to say the exact niche I'd go in, but I'd go for a micro niche. Right? Something very hyper specific to attract my ideal customer. Because when you attract your ideal customer, what you do from here, or what I would do from here, assuming I have no budget, right? Assuming I have zero budget, what I would do is I would just, the only thing you can do is funnel them to your Instagram. Now, instead of just being like, oh, if you want to buy this beat, go to my Instagram, like everyone else would do, don't be an idiot. What I would do is I would optimize my profile. Imagine this is the Instagram logo, okay? I would optimize my Instagram funnel. What I would have on here is I wouldn't have a picture of me looking stupid, right? I wouldn't have a picture of me taking mirror pictures, or I wouldn't have a picture of me with my dog, or I mean, come on guys, let's be professional here, right? If you're actually trying to build a beat selling business, don't come on, don't shoot yourself in the foot. So optimize your page with actually putting out beats. Wow, sounds crazy, right? If you're a music producer, show your portfolio, show your beats, right? Because you have good beats, show them off. Make a highlight of literally your beats. And what I would do is I would have it where, I guess you have no money. I was gonna say you could have a ManyChat automation with highlights where every beat, it's you have like a nice visualizer for each beat, and people can just scroll through, and then it says like DM me keyword to buy this beat, and then like it automatically DMs them when they put in the swipe up with the keyword, and then it takes them to some type of page to buy. Now, assuming you don't even have a website, you can't really do this. I recommend doing that though. It's ManyChat's like $15 a month. I'm not affiliated with them. I don't get a kickback, but yeah. Anyway, just show off your beats though. Have a highlight and then have some type of call to action. Okay, if you're having no budget, then DM me. I will respond, or DM me to buy this beat. And then make sure, okay, since you have no budget, you don't have auto responders, you don't have all this stuff that usually costs money, right? So respond instantly. Make sure, if you're running a business, respond fast. Guess what? Money moves with speed. Okay? Speed is everything in business. Believe it or not, speed is everything. Imagine if someone DMs you to buy a beat and you respond 3 days later and you're like, yo, my bad, completely didn't see this. They already bought someone else's beat. Plain and simple, they're gone. So speed is everything. Imagine you needed something specifically, you really wanted it, and then you hit them up, and they instantly responded to you and said, yeah, let me get this sorted for you. Let me help you be able to purchase this beat right now. I'll give you all the licensing info. And you know what? I'm even gonna throw in an extra beat for you just because you're a new customer, and I really like your sound and I want to continue working with you. You see how different of an experience that is for that customer? That customer knows, wow, you know what? This guy is genuinely a nice dude. I'm going to support this guy. I'm going to go to this guy from now on. And wow, you know what? Since you have the micro niche typey channel, wow, he makes the exact sound that I love. So now, instead of having someone not pay you at all or pay you 30 bucks for a beat. Now this guy's going to pay you $30 for a beat every 2 weeks. Right now you have that consistent income because you have one loyal customer. And with a micro niche typey channel, you're going to get more of these loyal customers. And that is how it works. Okay, so I would focus on optimizing my IG because that is really where you're going to make the conversions, assuming you have no website. That is basically your website, okay? Now guys, of course, I recommend getting a BeatStars Pro page. Invest the money, guys. You know, but assuming you don't have money, this is what I would do. I would optimize my page, and I would have Instagram highlights, and I would have posts. You know, I'd utilize my first 3 pin posts on Instagram too, and have some type of funnel that leads to generating interest, right? Ideally sending them to a form where they can fill out their information and get sent 5 free beats, and then now you have their information. Now you wouldn't have money to do an email automation and stuff, but you could maybe send emails manually. And then once you get a few sales from this method, you can then invest in a BeatStars Pro page. You can then invest in these automations that make this even easier, and you scale that way, right? At first, you kind of do have to do the guerrilla marketing, right? You have to do the dirty work, right? You have to get your hands dirty. But this is really what I do. If I genuinely had to start with $0, I would do it like this. And this is actually exactly what I did. I had my Instagram pretty optimized, I'd say, when I started. I did have a BeatStars Pro page. Okay, I did invest in that. I did, but that was actually it. That was all I had invested in. BeatStars Pro page, that was it. I was just collecting emails, you know, emails. Grew up my channels, right? You know, I started with a Playboi Carti channel, eventually grew way more. Funneled that to my BeatStars, built up an email list, and it got to a point where I could send out one email and make $500. So eventually you'll get to that point. You have to start somewhere, okay? So hopefully this is a clear framework of how, you know, and maybe one of these days I'll make a video on how to optimize your Instagram to actually have a clear profile funnel. If that's a valuable video, then comment down below. I'd be happy to make a video on that and go even more in depth on this. Make like a 30-minute video on just that. But that'd probably be more a main channel video, but I think that'd be valuable for you guys. So hopefully this helps and answers your question. I know I just went on a tangent about this, but I try to really go in depth for you guys. I really try to give as much value as I can, you know. But anyway, I blew up to 1K subs in a single month. Okay, and the views were like 5 to 10K daily. Now a couple weeks later, the views are dropping down to about 2K daily, and I'm not seeing the same growth in subscribers. I have the same click-through rate, average view duration, and the beats are, if you ask me, higher quality now than a week ago. Okay, so you're progressing. Good. The problem is that I'm not getting as much exposure as before. Any tips? Well, you are experiencing, unfortunately, you are experiencing what every producer has had to experience. Now, okay, you're actually in a very cool niche. You're in a very cool niche. What's interesting is you did change your titles. So you started adding other keywords, I would say, and maybe you're doing this to go for more of a micro niche. However, this is not a micro niche channel. You can't go for a micro niche when you already are going for a viral channel. At this point, you have to just be cool that, you know, you're doing free for profit, right? You have to just be cool that this is going to be a channel that is a cash cow in AdSense revenue. This channel might not sell a lot. And it will sell a lot. It will sell, you know, it's every channel. If you get a lot of views, your money follows attention. Okay, yeah, they sell, right? But you're not going to be seeing that as many sales as you think. And honestly, I wouldn't even put your logo in the thumbnail, man. I really think that might actually lower your click-through rate. But you are saying, you know, you're seeing similar click-through rate as before. Look, man, every time I've blown up a channel for myself and for my students, you will see a significant spike, and then it will trickle down and correct itself. It's like kind of like a market correction. And this is necessary because now, if you look at it this way, you started with what? Let's see, you started with nothing, okay? A month ago. You grew it all the way up to 1,000 subs in 1 month, man. Congratulations. But now it's not like your views are just going to continue going up forever. I mean, if that was the case, you'd become a millionaire in a year, right? But that's not the case. That's not how the algorithm works. The algorithm will push out your channel, and depending on if you get another beat to go up or not, it will correct itself. But now, if you notice, you started here, but now you're here. You just moved up a level. So now when you have your next spike, it's going to be even higher. And then when it corrects itself, it's going to be here. Look at the difference in the graph, right? You're continually going up. You're growing. And so don't get caught in the numbers thinking, "Oh, I'm doing something wrong because my views corrected." Dude, you went from 0 to now getting 2,000 views a day. That's awesome. And you, on top of that, you had a spike and got to capitalize on it. You monetize your channel, right? So these things happen, okay? So don't freak out about it. It happens, right? It totally happens. It happens to me even, okay? There is nothing you can do about it. The only thing to do or to focus on is your input. Never focus on your output. Only continue focusing on your input. Because when you focus on the input, your output will always resolve itself. And I want you to just continue focusing on your click-through rate, your average view duration, and guess what? Your retention. Yes, I'm going to say your retention. Yes. Guess what? I say it for a reason. Okay. Shut up. So those are the only numbers I want you to focus on. That's it. Because when you focus on that, guess what? You're going to get that second spike. And then guess what? You're going to get a third spike. And then it's going to correct itself there and you're going to keep going higher and higher. You're going to notice that. You'll be at 10K before you know it. So don't think, I probably just got another comment right now. Yes. You guys are flooding the comments and I love it. I love answering these questions in depth. But yeah, so just keep staying consistent, man. You're at a stage where it's like you don't need to worry about the views. You're already getting views. Just keep going for that next viral video. You already had one, or you have one crushing it. You have multiple videos that are crushing it. Go for that next viral video. This one got 58,000 views. Let's get 580,000 views. Let's go for one that gets 5,080,000 views, right? There's no reason you can't do that. Your theme is solid. I love it, and I genuinely think you're in a cool niche. So congrats on all your success. Keep crushing it. Now, I started a NEMS Type Beat channel a few months ago. I posted daily, but wasn't really consistent with keywords. A few weeks ago, I started changing up a few things. Been seeing a little success, but I don't know if I should keep going with this channel because of the beginning where I really didn't had a consistency. Okay. So let's take a look here. You said a few weeks ago you were changing up some things. Okay, I already see inconsistencies. So like, yeah, we have a full thumbnail here, then we have black bar thumbnail here, then we have this type of thumbnail here. It's different, right? Definitely some inconsistencies. And these things add up, man. These things matter, right? And then we have, okay, a whole bunch of other keywords here, and you mentioned that, you know, you were changing things up. Then we have a watch thumbnail here. We have a black and white thumbnail. There's inconsistencies, right? So the main thing for you is, if I was doing NEMS, I don't necessarily think that a girl thumbnail is bad, but I would honestly maybe even be going for jewelry, to be honest. Just because I know the type of music he makes, and maybe I would be going for, like, I know, like, UK, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think UK rap or UK music is usually like ski masks, or like more of that like drip. And so I would be doing guys with ski masks and like big diamond Cuban chains, watches, stuff like that, but not like traditional. Like, I'll show you a good example. So I wouldn't be doing thumbnails like this. So this is one of my beats, right? I wouldn't be doing thumbnails like this. That's not what this is like crime and like all that. I'm not talking about those type of ski mask pictures. I'm talking about more of like this type of these type of pictures, but it doesn't need to be the artist, right? If you go on Pinterest, you'll find a lot of pictures like this, and I'm talking about more like high quality, really high res pictures. So it's like on Pinterest, they're flooded with these. And I have a ton of pictures like this. So like, even on, if we go to this channel, right? We go to most popular, or actually if we go to oldest, you'll see like even pictures like this, right? I would even go as far as like going for pictures that are like that. And then we have more and more, like even a picture like this, like a thumbnail like this is exactly what I'm talking about. Literally a diamond Cuban link chain, iced out watch, and a ski mask. And this is like that UK rap like aesthetic. So maybe go for thumbnails like that. And these are flooded on Pinterest. I literally found this picture on Pinterest. So to answer your question, I would fix those inconsistencies and go for one format that might really start crushing it. And you're at a time where you can try things. You can try all kinds of shit, right? You only have 100 subs, not to discredit you, but you only have 100 subs. So it's like you can be testing things out, right? It's okay if you have inconsistencies right now, because you're just at a time where you're trying things, right? So I recommend trying them. Now, that's going to be it for today as far as the questions goes. Guys, thank you so much. I mean, look at this, 448 subs. We started this channel 5 days ago. Really awesome to see the community we're building here. I'm loving answering these questions for you guys. And we're growing the brand really well, right? My main channel too. Seems like this video is doing decent, so I'll take it, right? This was the video of DJ Payne. Super cool talk if you guys want to check that out. We went in depth on all kinds of beat selling gems, but yeah, super cool. Thanks so much for watching, guys. And also, if you haven't already, sign up for the Sell Beats Online Challenge. It's a free event that I'm hosting where I'm going to go in depth live over a course of 3 days, where I'm going to just basically go in depth on everything, very structured though, on how to sell beats and how to build a micro niche type beat channel, and then how to monetize it and optimize it for sales. If you're interested in that, go ahead and sign up. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video tomorrow. And thanks so much for stopping by. Make sure to ask some questions too. And yeah, take care. Peace.